Hey everybody, welcome back to our 53 Challenge webinar series. Great to have you. As you see, we have a lot of smiling faces on. These are, proud people that we're celebrating today, that we're recognizing on the leaderboard for the 53 Challenge. But before we launch into that, just want to, first of all, introduce my co-host today, Jim Winkler. Most of you have probably heard of him. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
I am great, and I love this smiling group of people we have with us. You caught us laughing and having fun because that's what the business is about, right, Andrew?
Absolutely. And, we're going to be focusing a lot about on the personal sponsorships tonight. We're going to be talking through some results from there, even for some of the other categories that we're featuring. What we've learned is that all of that leads into personal sponsorships. So I first want to make sure that, everyone knows we recognize everybody that's on the leaderboard, that if you've made it onto the year-to-date worldwide leaderboard, that's worldwide. You are some of the best in the in the entire company. So congratulations for being on. If you see your name on there, give yourself a pat on the back. It's a big deal being on here. But we are fortunate tonight to be able to talk to a couple of people, and we're just gonna have like a fun chit chat type of deal this evening. And we're gonna start off with our director, Shelly Bowe, who has had 6 sponsorships since April, since the challenge started. I believe 3 of them like in last week, right? Like 3
right
last week. Whew. Shelly, great to have you on. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing to help you get these results.
Well, first off, what an honor to be part of this group. This is super fun, and I agree, Jim. Man, right now we need a lot of love and a lot of smiles, and let's lift each other up. Let's focus on what we can do. Let's focus on what is possible right now, and that's the excitement. There is something to be said, and Jim and I have been working together for almost 25 years.
Quarter of a century.
Right? So I know everybody's wondering, like, how have you put up with that guy for a quarter of a century?
That's what my wife's wondering.
Right. But truthfully, one of the things, Jim, I think you and I really have in common, and we tend to see it over and over again, is when we face hardship, adversity, or anything that seems to be of distress, we get stronger. There's something about that. There's something about in the midst of things, how do we get stronger? And, losing JR, losing Dennis, and now Arlene Lowy, of course, it has been such an emotional roller coaster. 1 minute you're crying, the next minute you're laughing. Yeah. And one thing that I will say that I really took to heart is, first off, going back to listening to JR over and over. Now, his words mean more than anything. I did the same thing when we lost Dennis. Just listen to his voice, and his words meant more than anything. And I really feel like it was something within me that changed. Strangely, for the positive. Maybe that's not strange, but for the positive, like, these guys gave it their all. They did everything to give us life. Now, what will we do to honor that? And I feel the same way about Arlene, as I got to know her the last couple of years and feel the love from that woman and who she was in this company. And that really feeds my soul to want to do what they said was right. So what's right? Right is hitting MUFO. Right is hitting challenges. Right is continuing to live out this legacy, right? So I want to do what's right. I want to do what's honoring. I want to lead in this legacy. Natural leaders lead. And so I will say, when we lost Dennis, I'm going to tell you guys, this is the truth. I did not want to be part of this challenge, this 53 challenge. I'm the same way with all of it, aren't I, Jim? Jim asked me to be part of an accountability group 15 years later, here we are. I say no to these things only to know I'm going to turn around the next day and say yes to these things. Because the truth is, I do want to be held accountable. We all do. it leads us to being better. So with this challenge, it took me a bit. That's the truth. I was seriously like the rebel, like, okay, fine, I'll do this thing, right? And I'll only do it because I love Dennis Franks. That's why I'm going to do it. But the funny part is I have this side of me that is so ridiculously competitive that as soon as I'm part of something, I want to win. I want to be great. So it pushes me to want to be great and want to be better. And in the midst of that, I really find myself being more honorable to what Dennis Franks represented in the company. Then we lose JR. And I thought, man, I will never forget a boat with 12 people. And I sat right in front of that man. And when he looked me straight in the eye and said, you can be a director with this company. And he laid out the iron triangle, the triangle, and he showed me my business. And then he wrote me the card, I believe in you. And JR, when he set up the MUFO, what did he say? He said, this is the roadmap. We did the work behind the scenes. We know what it takes to be, we know what successful people do. I've never doubted that man's words. I've never doubted that. He's always right. And so losing him made me want to be better. I want to be better. I want to honor what he said was the right thing to do. So 2 weeks ago, I said to my accountability group, holy cow, you guys, I never miss MUFO. Like, I've only missed it twice since 2001. I don't miss MUFO. And I said,
hold on 1 second. Repeat that. You've only missed it how many times since 2001? Right.
So it's not part of my DNA and identity is I achieve MUFO, right? So here we are, 3 weeks out from it. And I said, this is crazy. My identity says I hit this thing. What's going on? I haven't sponsored anybody this quarter, had an okay quarter, but I need to accomplish this. You guys, it's crazy, but it's like immediately I just like dug in and I thought, who do I know who? Who do I know who? Come on, let's get the plan, people. And Jim kept challenging us, more plans, more plans. That's what leads to it, right? Yeah. But one thing Jim pointed out to me today, I don't show a lot of plans for my sponsorships. You don't see me on the plan leaderboard. I'm not the person out there. Like I might show 4 plans and I will say, I'm just gonna give JR credit for this again. Because when it comes to showing plans, typically if they're going to see a part 2, a lot of people I bring to part 1, a lot. But if they're going to see a part 2, I pretty much know they're the person I'm looking for. They've got what I'm looking for. They're a customer, they're willing to get educated, and they're willing to lead me to people. Those are the 3 things. And if they say yes to those 3 things, then rock on, let's go. Yeah. So I want to say that part of this drive that you see within me is a drive to honor those who have gone before us and basically gave their life. Let's just be real. And now Arlene Lowy, let's just top off. I learned to absolutely love and embrace everything about that woman in the last 2 years. Thank you, God, that she was on our accountability team, Jim, because I love her so much. She fed into me so much with her words and her knowledge and her wisdom. You'll see me do even better now. You'll see me retail more now because she was the OPC queen. I want to honor that. So guys, part of it is just the drive that we find within us to do the right things, because then the right things happen. So tell you about my sponsorships. Quite a mix, a lot of diversity. Sometimes I come in looking at a particular division. Might be websites, might be Debt Shredder, might be Modus, might be health and nutrition. But I will say this, I don't like when people get so set on, well, I'm specializing in TLS. So like, I'm going to wait until those people become franchise owners. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy talk. We have 12 divisions. Yeah. Not everybody's going to love health and nutrition. Not everybody's going to love websites, right? So I stay extremely open. I set up a lot of first looks. Out of that first look, I listen intently and I'm taking notes. I have a huge notebook just full of notes. I remember so much about the person. Then I always, Jim taught me this from day one, point of contact to point of contact to point of contact. You don't leave an appointment with the next appointment not booked. I book every next appointment. And when that next appointment is booked, they're either going to lead me to somebody or they're going to say yes. And then I plug them in. Let's have a little meet and greet. Let's go. Let's go. I have this mindset. Let's go. Let's go. So last week, it just all sort of like the pieces fell into place. Once again, I swear these guys are like angels in heaven because crazy stuff's been happening since JR passed. Stuff's just falling into my lap. It's become so easy. And one day I was walking around my house and I think I shared this with Jim. I was cleaning house that morning, and cleaning house is very therapeutic to me. It's right after we lost JR. I was very emotional and I just had the music on and I'm cleaning house. And then I was like, all right, said to my dogs, I'm going to go up, do my meditation. JR's voice, I swear I heard it in my ears. He's like, you've been relaxing all day. When you going to work? And it was like, all right, fine, JR, fine. So what happened was I really seriously sat back and I thought, who do I know? Who have I been working with? Who might be close? And I reached out to them, and lo and behold, all three were ready to go. All three were customers. All three loved the products. All three were willing to plug in. One of them will be at Product Symposium. And before that, I led to a gal that I had not seen in 37 years. She's in Arizona, and she's now led to 6 new people already in her organization. I call them the Wild Wild West women. So we're looking to break ground out there. So what I'm saying to everyone is the excitement, the enthusiasm in you is what people buy into. That is what people buy into. And
Right.
then they don't care about the details. They don't care about all, they care to see if you will lead them to where they want to be in their life. And that's what I show them, is that I have your back. I will take you to where you want to go. Follow my steps. And I will tell you, like I said to Jim said, Shelly, just do what I say, be coachable. I will support you. Just do what I say. And I said to Jim, I hope this is not one of those things, because if it is, I may have to kill you. And Jim is still alive. I'm still alive, and we're both thriving. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That is great, Shelly. And I love what you're saying, the passion. But you know what I love more? You're listening to the audios. You're hearing the things. And then you said, I picked up the phone. I just made a decision. I picked up the phone and I called them. You know, they were there, but something changed here, and they could hear it when you talked to them, because you picked it up and you did it. And that's really, I've always believed sponsoring, prospecting, recruiting, it all starts with a mindset. So that's beautiful. Great job. Congratulations on the 3 sponsorships last week. I know you are going to have to leave us because you're going on to do some more plans right now. Our first looks, I think it is. But we appreciate you jumping on and sharing with everybody.
Thanks so much.
Shelly mentioned, she's getting into expanding into Arizona. Speaking of Arizona, we've got another special individual that's on with us this evening. We got a chance to talk on the phone earlier today. Rosemary Dacko has been phenomenal on the leaderboard, as you can see, in the United States. She's one of the top performing for personal orders from partner stores. And she had placed 323 personal orders from partner stores so far. And Rosemary, through that conversation with you, I really loved your energy. I loved the tips that you were sharing. Can you share with everybody here what you make of what you do with the partner stores, how you use that to fuel other aspects of your business? Welcome to our webinar tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Andrew. First of all, being on the challenge, taking the challenge, deciding to do it. I've signed up for challenges and lasted maybe a week or 10 days in the past. So I decided they weren't for me. But this one really called to me. One is because that's my number, 53. I was born in 1953. So was Dennis. But the 53, because everywhere you go, see it on trucks and whatever. And I turned to my senior partner and I said, I am in. When you guys were announcing it in Florida, I said, I am in. And it was a quiet, I'm in, not that emotional kind of stuff that I've done in the past where you get all excited and then nothing happens. You just sort of slink away. No, this time I said, I'm going to do this. And I'd already been pretty good at shopping at partner stores. I used to make jokes about I get paid for dirt because I'd pick up my soil at Home Depot and Tractor Supply and whatever. But I was pretty good at that. But I've got to tell everybody here and everybody that's listening that through the years, JR has turned to us, whether we were in Greensboro or down in Florida, and he said, we have to shop it from ourselves. We have to shop from ourselves. Mm-hmm. He was saying to us, I need you. The company needs you. They can't have partners with all these stores and then we don't shop at them. We just, do the easy thing and pop over to the store and pick it up. And I'm telling you, this has been a real game changer for me, because deciding, okay, I'm going to shop at 20 stores and exploring all these tiny stores. And I got to tell you, I do lists. So anytime you're walking through your house or you see, and I raise dogs and I have other pets. And if you see something that you need, put it on that list and pace yourself so that you can make sure that you get those things in that week. Don't buy 8 things at a store if you know you can wait another week or 2 for the other things. Just keep it small, keep it very affordable. And then there's a little route of stores that I have. So here you've got your list and you go and you order, and I'll tell you a little bit about my process there. But once you place your orders, and to avoid all the shipping costs, you can go around, if you have local stores like Walmart or Tractor Supply or Home Depot or Staples or whatever, you can go to those and pick up your teeny tiny order. And while you're there, because you're going often, you can say, oh, I'm in a challenge. And you can either explain, my company has a business-to-business relationship with your company, so I get points for this challenge and some money on the back end like this. So because they get curious about why you keep showing up and have these little orders. That's one thing. Handing out a trial size as you get to know their name, that's a big one for me. So I'm moving in that direction, plus the trial size. And now I happen to mention to people, because I've talked about I'd say, I'm on the leaderboard, I want to stay there, can you help me? And people are very excited about that. Most people know what a leaderboard is because of golf. So that has helped a lot. So I'm moving, and not only that, but sometimes the IBV coming in is slow. So I might put in 20 stores and only get credit for 16, and they don't carry over. So I said, I'm going to start shopping early in the week and give that IBV time to get there. But because I'm doing that, here's another one. Because I'm doing that, it allows me to relax and know that I've got my stores taken care of. I've got my trial size things going out. And now what can I do next? And so I go ahead and say, we got an UBP, I can use more points. Do you want to go? And 2 people at a UBP last week. And that's something that's
I love this, Rosemary. That's so smart.
And one of them, who's she's one of my one of my customers, and she and her sister are doing some of the advice that I give, because I do a lunch and learn with some of the advice, and they've each lost 30 pounds.
Wow.
And this is phenomenal. So anyway, she wants to know how she can get her, if I get in this company, I can get my products for cost. So I'm very, very pleased with that. Now, the process, I got to tell you quickly, the process that I use for Friday night, because you know the challenge doesn't start until Saturday. So you can go on some of your stores. I'm very encouraged to find books. There's books that I like to get. We have several bookstores, and you can usually type in free shipping. You filter for free shipping. And somebody I made a joke about, but I want free shipping, free shipping. And they go, well, how do you do that? I go, well, you go on there, it says free shipping, but you have to spend $20. You have to spend $35 to get the free shipping. I said, so I started exploring all these other stores that had free shipping. Once again, make a little mark on your list for 2 reasons. One is so you can find your way back to that store that's already got free shipping, and you can buy a little something. My granddaughter was here and she said, I need scrunchies. Done. And they came in the mail for free shipping. So very, very affordable. But I put things in the basket on Friday nights. I might go to several different stores, put one thing in a basket here, there, and the other place. And the next morning, and don't get tempted to go ahead and make the sale. Wait till the next day and then put it through. So it's very, very rapid. And if you use PayPal, it's super fast because it's already there. You don't have to do all fun stuff with your charge card. So there's different ways of moving it along. And I just wanted to add that, it's obviously, we think ahead in terms of what gifts will we get that we can get for other people. We do that kind of naturally, but there's also agencies and organizations that need help. So
you can order one little thing here or there or the other place. You don't have to worry about stockpiling your house with toilet paper or whatever. You can give something to that that agency, and it's you get the points, you get the you get to stay on the leaderboard, and they get some of the needed supplies that they have. If we order something and it's not the right size or whatever, it goes off to a box that goes off to gets sent to Ukraine right now. Eastern Ukraine is really in need of help. So there's lots of ways that you can work this. So and people look and say, wow, they look at all the stores, but really I can spend $2 at Ace, you know, I can spend $4 at Home Depot. It counts. And then don't forget to look at your shop local. It's ever changing. And that's another thing. If we don't, you know, patronize those stores, they'll disappear. So really get out there and encourage people to share the wealth and really help JR's legacy, which is to extend and work in partnership with all of us. So.
Awesome. Great passion for going after this, Rosemary, and really figuring out the way to maximize it. I think everyone could learn a lot from what you're doing. That is great.
Right. And, you know, you mentioned that every week you have a goal of, you know, shopping from 20 of your own partner stores. And now, folks, as we fill in the weekly accountability report, there's only 5 rows of stores that you can put in, but not to worry if you're like Rosemary and shopping from 20, they're still tracking all of the purchases, not just the 5 that you put in there. So great job. Thanks for.
I got one question for Rosemary. Rosemary. How much IBV, and I don't know this answer, how much IBV have you produced this quarter? Do you know?
No, I don't.
I'd like to know that.
Yeah.
I'd like to have about 40 Rosemarys in my organization.
There were years when you were going for the SAM and you'd have to keep track of it and quick order something to make. I don't even look at it anymore because it's rolling in.
Yeah, perfect.
Love it. Thank you, Rosemary. Now, the next person, power couple that we're going to introduce are Michael and Maria Kepis. They are executive coordinators in the business and have sponsored 6 personal sponsorships since the start of this challenge, meeting since April. Michael and Maria, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to share information.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much. It's been a really great experience, and if anything, you know, it started with Dennis Franks, who inspired us, and Mike actually has a story about Dennis. But the one thing I could say is that this definitely has helped our business grow, and it's helped us to stay focused. And it's true what they say. I mean, a lot of times when we don't write down our goals and we don't write down our notes, you know, even when we meet with someone, if there's not a roadmap, then you kind of forget, you know, and as you get older, it's just hard to remember. So, you know, knowing that we're doing this, we've got stuff written down, we've got, you know, goals and challenges, and we just say, okay, we're going to do this. And it really has helped us stay focused. And one of the things that's helped me personally a lot is networking groups. So I wanted to share that with everyone because a lot of the people that we've gotten recently are actually women. I'm in an all-women Hispanic networking group. And I actually am a part of the networking group, and I'm regional director. And our chapters are going to the point that we're now global, and we're going to hit almost 1,000. So what I do is I talk to all the women, and we meet a couple times a week, and we all introduce ourselves and we talk about our businesses. So when you belong to a networking group, you form a bond, you know, so even if you don't have a networking group, you know what they say about you dance. It's so true. So you form a bond with, you know, with people, with women, and you help each other. It's almost like you all grab your hands together, you empower each other, and you just go for it. You know, so I've created friendships, I've gotten support. A lot of people are very happy with, you know, the products. I've been able to make the challenge like 2 or 3 times in a row, you know, thanks to the networking group. But here's what I can say that I've noticed with the networking group, and this is one of the things that I love the best about our company is we're so diverse. We don't just have one thing. So when you're dealing with other entrepreneurs, they already have a mindset, you know, and they're already in their own nature, whatever other business they're doing, you know, they're entrepreneurs. So a good example would be a beauty school, a beauty academy. Well, you know what, we can implement a lot of what we have there, right? In talking to these entrepreneurs too, one of our recent is the owner of a glass company. But getting to know her, she originally contacted me because of the Dutch shredder. And we started talking about that. And then, you know, one thing led to another. We got to know each other. And then she says, you know, I have such a hard time sleeping at night. And then she started talking about other things where I thought, well, we have something, you know, that I'd like for you to try. So then she says, well, one of my other passions that I am having that I'm starting a business is just kind of like inner growth, yoga. And I was like, oh my goodness. So to make a long story short, she, you know, I showed her the business and we talked and she says, oh my goodness, I'm getting so excited. She tasted the products, loves the isotonics, loves the nutrition, loves the TLS. And then she already, and she's a newer one, she already has her first partner. And this past Saturday, she said she talked to the owner of a gym that is very interested in hearing what we have to say. So these are the, for me, it's been key, you know, to kind of get to know people that are already a part of these networking groups, because what we have fits like a glove. It fits really nicely with a lot of other businesses where you can create some really powerful alliances, and we all learn from each other. So that's really helped me. And then Mike has a really cute story about Dennis.
Right after MAIC 2021, I sent him a text. I have this app, and I took a picture of him on the TV where he was singing, and I had him singing "I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt." And I sent it to him. I said, hey, I just want to thank you and the MA corporate team. You guys put on a great conference. We really enjoyed it. And he wrote back to me, and I wrote down, wrote, thanks, Mike. You rock. Now it's time to grow. So I wrote back to him. I said, well, we'll be on stage in 2022. So we weren't on stage, but Maria was, because she hit the challenge. So she was with Jim the Rock Star that evening. And like Maria said, you know, you put a target out there somewhere, and you kind of hyper focus on it and try to hit it. And the things that I was just going to say is just keep talking to people, because people, you know, everybody says it, but it's just so true.
It's true.
You know, people are looking for something, you know, and one of the things, Dennis did a local here like 2 years ago in Arizona. And one of the things he said, you know, just ask somebody, do you have any more room for more money in your life? That's gonna make people think, you know. And if they say yes, which most of them are, yeah, I think I could. Well, you know what? I'd like to talk to you about something. Okay, and you know, just keep talking. I always tell people, if your mouth is closed, so's your business. So keep talking. Let people know. Provide. You know, we have so many different solutions. And there's something just lastly, something Jim said. I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago when he was introduced to the business, and he said, "Well, I'm just going to give it 1 year." A 1 year commitment isn't that bad. You know, I just don't quit. If you're new to this business, you know, one of the things I say, you know, if it's hard, learn from it. You know, everybody fails. Nobody is perfect. Nobody ever started this business and went from, you know, starting to director 2 weeks later. I mean, and there's a process to it. And JR, you know, you've heard his old, you know, all the audio that they have in the back office. You know, the basic 5 from 30 years ago is the basic 5 he did at MAIC 2022.
Right.
You know, I mean, the only thing that's changed is the products we've gotten more products. And basically that's really the only thing that's changed with this company. So embrace it, and everybody wants to help you, whether they're in your organization or not. You know, that's the one thing I always found just amazing, that everybody's just so friendly. And I
Mhm.
remember the first time meeting, again, Jim, the time we met him and he came to Illinois. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
said, last thing I promise, he came and he did a UBP. And at the time he showed up in a cast because he just had surgery on his Achilles. I don't know if you remember that at all.
Yeah.
He said, you know what? I don't know if you understand the power of leverage, people, but last week I was in La La Land because I was on all the meds for my ankle. And you figure you work 40 hours a week for 50 weeks. So it's 2,000 hours a week. He said, with my organization, if everybody in my organization worked just 5 hours last week, I didn't do anything, but I got 7.5 years worth of work. If that's not leverage, then you don't know what's going on. So again,
It's-
just stay,
Yeah.
as the main thing behind Andrew there, stay focused, stay the course. But
Definitely.
the plan will work. If you follow the system, it'll work.
It does work. And I say, don't be shy. I was
Right.
talking to Jim at conference and I'm just like, I unleashed myself. I really did.
We
A lot of
unleashed the beast.
Yes, exactly. Bring it on. Yeah,
Bring
exactly.
it on. Well, I am looking for, I'll be seeing you guys in Arizona in the next week or so, and you better
Yeah.
be ready to work hard. We're going.
You
Absolutely.
got it. We
Meetings,
can't wait to be-
UBPs, product
Yes.
Yeah.
presentations. Let's
The
go.
locals. Yep.
We
Yeah,
can't wait.
absolutely.
We cannot
Absolutely.
wait.
I love it. Speaking of unleashing the beast, this is our up here in Toronto. Mary Wu is a master coordinator and so much more than that. She's the leader in the field. She's a leader, a great friend to many. She keeps everybody in line in her organization and outside of her organization. She keeps me in line as well. Mary is on here for her efforts in exposing the business plan to personal prospects. She has exposed the plan to 68 of her personal prospects since the start of this challenge. And Jim, do you got anything?
Yeah, Andrew, before Mary talks, I got to talk because Mary, what was it? 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, we were on a Moving Up seminar. And if I remember right, I think I do. You told me you had nobody to talk to, remember? And then I took your phone and I started going through and naming people. So if you had nobody to talk to 7, 8, 9 years ago, how did you get 68 plans since April 1st doing this? You have done a huge turnaround. I got to say, that is awesome. I'm so proud of you. And you keep that rolling because the sponsorships are coming with it, which is great.
Exactly. So I guess it is, Jim, I had to pay the $1,000 to attend the Moving Up seminar to change. And that's what I always tell people is what I really learned from the Moving Up seminar was you have to be that duck that, where the water sort of just flows away. Because I think when we start the business, we are so worried about what people are going to think. And then we stop ourselves from talking. And I come from a background of HR manager. So I'm like thinking, if I go and talk to people, they're going to be asking me, why am I doing this business? So once I went to the Moving Up seminar and where Jim said, it really doesn't matter. It's really about what is your dream, your goal, correct? And so after I learned that for me, it was like, I don't really care what everybody thinks. I'm just going to keep on doing it because I strongly believe that this business is going to give me what I want. And the thing is that what is really important is the passion that you show. I always say this is the first business I ever saw in network marketing. This is the last business I'll ever do. So when people hear this, they're like, oh my God, like you never checked out anything else. I said, I don't need to, because I was really lucky to find the business that sort of really worked with me. And then it's really about, I always say is, I got this gift, and it was first a gift of health that really helped my family get better. And then now it's a gift of, and so I always feel is it shouldn't be a secret. We should share it with everybody. Whoever wants it will reciprocate with you and they will take it. So my goal is I maintain, I think what is important in this business is discipline and consistency. So, and I've always heard is what gets scheduled in your calendar will get done. So when it came time to register for this 53 challenge, it was a no-brainer because both Jim and Andrew have been working with the accountability. So we've been doing the accountability continuously for 2 years now. So when we were asked to do the 53 challenge, I was like, we're already doing the accountability. It's the same thing that we are going to be doing in 53 challenge. So why not do it? And it really feels good when you're in the leaderboard, because then it's like, oh my God, I need to be on this leaderboard and keep on doing every week what I need to do. So it's one thing to keep in mind is this business is virtual. So a lot of the times people don't take it seriously. So you have to have a mindset of an entrepreneur. And I remember Amber Yang used to say this, is think about this business like a traditional business. You have hours of work, correct? If it's like 9 to 5, you keep your doors open from 9 to 5. You have to do the same thing in this business, even though it's part-time, because then you'll have that discipline of every day making sure that you're doing the result producing activities. So what I do is I make sure that every day I have a meeting booked with people, and very similar to what Maria does, I do a lot of networking. So I network a lot on LinkedIn because that's a professional network. So what I do is I will go and every day look at people, start to connect with them and be very focused on whom I want to connect with. And then I read their profile and I reach out to them. So I'm able to book a lot of meetings through that. And the key to having a successful meeting is, you know how they say you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So you listen a lot to what people are saying and you ask a lot of questions using the forms, correct? To see what you can collect. So like I have a background in consulting. So what I do is if I were to consult with anybody, what I do, I ask a lot of questions. So I do the same thing, but the key is also to build a relationship, because when you are able to build a relationship and the person feels this person really cares about me, then what happens is when they even partner with you, they're going to stay with you in the business. Then things happen during the I guess the tenure of your business, but at least they'll always be with you because they know you care about it. So I think it's being genuine, being caring, and what I say is what you see is what you get. So I always tell people is whatever I'm telling you now is what you're going to actually really see in the business. So be upfront about the business so that they don't feel like, oh my God, I got duped into something that you never told me about. So it's really good to be genuine, be yourself, but be caring so that the other person can really feel you. And then it's much easier then to build those relationships. And at the end of the day, if you work with a cold market and if they say no to you, it doesn't matter. You never knew them anyways. Just move on to the next person.
That's right. You know, Mary, I'm very excited for what you're doing and for everybody, because as things are opening up and we're able to get one-on-one and two-on-one and small in person, your numbers are going to go through the roof. You watch, because what you've been able to maintain and build while online, while a lot of things were shut down, you're going to take to whole new levels, as we all are, because people need that feeling of being together, and it's going to be fun, team. Congratulations, Mary. I can't tell you how proud I am of you.
Yeah.
Because
after this meeting, we're going to be sponsoring somebody right now at 9 o'clock.
Look at that. I love it.
Love it. You know, when Jim saw your name on that list, he's like, Andrew, we've got to get Mary on.
Thank you. It's all because of Jim.
That's not, it's because of you. It's because of you. That's great.
And you know, 68 personal appointments that we've been talking about, 2 a week, right? 2 a week. We are 26 weeks into this challenge. That's 52. So you're above that. And the key, like you said, I love that tip you shared about, you know, the key is it's staying consistent. It's not about, you know, doing a mad dash at the beginning and then, you know, running out of steam. It's staying consistent. Oh, I love that. Thanks, Mary.
Yep.
All right. You know, the next person I'd like to introduce and really spend some time to chat with this evening is Michelle Liu. Michelle is a director in Market Singapore, and I gotta say I had the privilege of being there at the annual convention in Singapore earlier this year. We've got the Singapore Leadership School coming up next month, and I was just so impressed with Michelle, her organization, her leadership. We're talking about, you know, a director who's continuing to lead by example. She's hitting every challenge. Her group is hitting challenges with her. Her group is jumping pin level, unfranchised levels together, and she's hitting Master UFO consistently. So with that, would like to, welcome Michelle. Thank you for taking the time to be with us here this morning for you, Michelle.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
share
good morning.
with us.
Thank you. Good morning from Singapore. So very honored to be invited to be here, and very excited too, because when I saw my name on the leadership board, I was like kind of like surprised. We are in a very busy period here. Planning for our leadership schools, and there's so many things that's going on, especially the end of the quarter. So much thing going on. And when I received Andrew's text, it was like, wow, I'm in. All right. And thank you. So, well, first of all, I'm very, very grateful with this 53 challenge. It put me into that deep discipline mode. Everything that I'm doing, consistently, because of Mr. Kevin Bunkman, he has been guiding us with our MUFO 90 days. So we have been doing it consistently. My team and I, we work on this, RPA consistently. So with all this discipline and result producing activities, including all the accountability, it actually propel us to a higher level. And what we are doing is we're keeping track on the whole team, what they are going through, and whether they are meeting all the challenges. And also, we work on our health and nutrition challenge. We work on our skincare challenge. So every 6 months before the convention comes, the leadership school comes, we want to work towards it to hit chairman challenge and all that. And that allow us to have that consistency. So 53 challenge also allows me to identify my goal nows. So my super goal nows are basically people who are always appearing in GMTSS, who are working very, very closely with us. So that's why the whole team, we work as a team. All right. So on the sponsorship itself, yes, it's the most difficult part of this whole accountability. All right. So with Singapore now opening and with so many new people coming in, we are so grateful that we can meet people again. So from staying at home to going out, so it's part of the parcel of getting our sponsorship to a higher level. So for me, going out is something that I want to meet people. So I go out to meet people. At the same time, I meet people, when I'm out. All right. And that allows me, just like Mary mentioned, we connect with people. We meet people, and then, we start conversation, and I build my name list. All right. So, building name list is as important as building the business. So for me, getting name list is rather easy for me because I go out a lot, and I start a very simple conversation with them, and I kind of like connect with them by when I go shopping, when I just sit down and have a drink, or when I'm eating, or when I'm just window browsing. I'm someone who's quite bold to open my mouth and ask questions, and that will get their attention. And I just chat about anything, and I'm sometimes, my mind is blank. I would just blurt out something. I say, oh my gosh, look at that, and then people will just like connect with me that way, and that's how the conversation started. And I will keep the conversation going, and then through the whole conversation, I tell them a little bit about what I'm doing, and that's how I get names. And then before I end the conversation, I always say that, hey, it's so fun chatting with you. Why not, we just exchange our numbers and we keep in contact. And that's the way, I just get names. Not thinking so much about business, but I just want to build meaningful connection with them. Mm-hmm. And that allows me to have name lists to work on. So with all this RPA going on, I know that I have to continue to get new possibility lists into my name list. So with that, I come back and I work on it. So I may be getting like 5 names a day, or sometimes 2 names. It doesn't matter. I don't want to stress myself. I just tell myself, as long as I'm consistent, I will get there. So with that, I work on it. There's some people, they are not right. I qualify them, while I'm chatting with them. But there's some people who's like, they are very interested in finding out more. And that's when I say, hey, you can always, we can always Zoom in. I know all of us are busy, and that's how we connect through Zoom, through another session where we can have a tea or a drink together. And sometimes I say that, hey, my friends are having a party. Would you like to come along? And that's how I get all this name list and work on it consistently and bringing them into my work. Okay. Yes. And then when they find out that, all my friends are doing all the interesting things, shopping and get paid by shopping, and then, connecting with our shop locals, dining in our shop locals, shopping via our platform, and then looking beautiful because we're using all our wonderful products. I'll talk about anti-aging, and I'll talk about education. I talk about training, and that get people very excited because I'm branding myself that way. People look at my lifestyle and they say, hey, I want to be like you. All right. And then, I want to do things that like, what you're doing. How do I get there? And that's how I say, book an appointment with me. If you have an hour with me, for just 45 minutes to an hour, I'll show you my work. I'll show you what you can do. And if you are someone who is looking for a change in your life, I think that we are right. We are connecting there. And then I add on, I say, but if you are really willing to invest time to achieve something in your life, I think you're talking to the right people. So that's how I connect and get my sponsorship consistently. And very, very grateful again with this MUFO 90 days, with all this tracking that is going on, is also leading me to the results that I want, and comparing with the worldwide, the global team here. And, I know where I'm getting to, So with all these global reports coming in, it makes me feel that, all right, I'm actually doing all the right things, because I look at the rest of the unfranchised business owner, they're doing it consistently. And all those names that is popping out on the leadership board, it's so exciting. These are the people that I meet them online all the time. And then I saw them, on Facebook. When I go for convention in America, I saw them on stage. I said, yes, this is what they're doing. Mm-hmm. I want to be like them too. And I want to be in that leadership board where I'm leading by examples. All right, as a director in Market Singapore, I lead by example, and I want to make sure that people who are watching us, people who are building the business with us, they see someone is doing all the things that what the company, is asking us to do. So I want to be very aligned with what Shop.com is doing, what Market America is doing. So that push me to do all these daily activities, and that's why with all this consistency is showing result. It's showing result. Thank you.
I love that.
That's awesome, Michelle, and you're doing a great job. And
thank you.
You said some things. Andrew and I think have talked about this earlier today, actually, about we've got to lead, right? And we've got to be the example to other people, to show them what's possible. And as a director doing that in Market Singapore, that is fantastic. To all of you who have been on tonight with what you're doing, you are leading and setting an example. It's so important, whether it's myself or Andrew or any of our corporate team members or any of our advisory council members or any of you. That example will lift up a whole bunch of other people. And a lot of us have stories about Dennis and JR or Arlene, but the one thing, the common bond that we have with that is that they wanted us to be great, and they wanted to give it to us. They wanted to help us. And the only way you can help somebody is to find the people who want it and will go after it with you, and then feed into them. And that's what you guys are doing. So right. You've done a great job. And Andrew, as always, you are a great host on this.
Thank you. Thanks, Jim. I couldn't help but notice like a consistent, a theme here of consistency with everybody on here. I mean, it doesn't sound like anybody got lucky. You know, it didn't sound like there was nobody won the lottery of sponsorship or
You make your own luck.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But whether it's the 3-foot rule with Michelle, or having consistently going to networking events, or hosting your networking events, or being on LinkedIn, or consistently having a plan to go to 20 stores a week with Rosemary. All of this came, all of this was well thought out and planned out, and that's why you guys are here.
And follow up, and what they say is true. We just partnered with we just got another partner last night.
Wow.
Oh, that's
And-
awesome.
Yes, and she's an esthetician, and she's someone that I talked to a year ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But things happened, and it wasn't back then the right time, and she's been watching me, and she told me she felt my passion, and she just said, okay, that's it, I'm coming on board. And she came over last night and just got a new partner last night. And it's like fortunes in a follow-up. Don't ever give up. It may not be the right time for them, but if you continue, to talk to them and just, hey, how you doing? Just a simple, don't even bring up the business, but just keep that communication open. And on their own, you never know. I mean, I was like, whoa. So yeah, fortune is definitely in the follow-up.
You know, it's great. It's not luck she was watching you, and it's not luck she called you. What it was is you kept going, you kept doing it, and you were visible. You put it out there. And I got to tell you guys, that's one of the things, we got to be visible and let everybody see what we're doing, and that we are leading and we're doing it. And that's why she came to you with that follow-up, and it's going to keep happening
But
as we've got the thing to do it.
Yes.
Just as important as that, just as important that we do have the vehicle, but we've also got the people that care, and show them that this world can move together, and we can link arms, and we can love everyone.
That's right, Rosemary. So good. So good. And I love you guys for being on here. You were great.
Thank you. What an honor.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And we all love you, Jim. Thank you for your
Yes.
leadership.
Love you all.
You
See you in a
always
couple
did.
weeks, Mr. Winkler.
Can't wait to see you.
Get ready. Get ready.
Yeah, we're getting ready.
Yes.
We're getting-
You know, Shelly's gonna follow me down there too. She's coming down to work with her Arizona team, so
Excellent.
it's gonna
Wow.
be busy. It's gonna
Yes,
be busy.
can't
I'm
wait.
coming everywhere all you guys are, so get ready.
It's gonna be awesome.
Get ready. All right, guys. Have a great evening. Thanks for
Thank
everybody
you.
who's on,
you.
and we look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Stay the course.
Bye.